Let's get this show on the road, guys. Good evening, good afternoon, good evening. Some of you are East Coast, West Coast, etc. Some of you are on a phone call. Some of you I can see are logged in. Can see me, don't see me. There is no right or wrong way for this call. I am doing a live call on Facebook. I want you all to know I cannot see you all, so you are kind of layered into my layers right now, but it's all right. If it doesn't go through, I will repost this for all of you to re-watch it in the replay. So again, those of you who are new, I'm Dawn Thompson, by the way, and welcome to the Truth Tribe. This is your first visit. Let me introduce you to my work. I've been coaching clients and including adults and children probably the last 25 years. I'm a trainer, speaker, author, and I use astrology as an additional tool in my coaching because it has proven to be the most effective way to assist in problem solving. I use it in corporate America. I use it in personal one-on-one. I use it with kids. I use it with teens. I use it all the time. And I am out to kind of prove and I kind of disprove the stigma around it and quit calling it just astrology and woo-woo because it's not. So we're not going to really talk astrology, but we're going to kind of help several of you who've been through some of my work see how it applies. And so tonight, I want to dive into what the topic of sugarcoating. And it's a big topic for me because I listen to sugar-coated versions of people's crap all day long. And it's not just one-on-one clients. It's someone who, finds me via email or via, private messenger and one of the social medias, and they want me to hear them, and they want it to be like, hey, it's, I just want you to know it's not my fault. It's not, it's not because of me. And so what does life look like without sugarcoating was the post today and what we were supposed to be talking about. And what I think is really cool is here's sugarcoating, guys. And I think you're all gonna go, yeah, it's all the things in your life that you wish to improve that you haven't yet. And you ignore the discipline that it takes to get it. It's that simple. So ignoring a cheating spouse who something is off, yet we act like nothing is happening. I'm going to go deep. I'm going to go right away. Let's just dive in, right? Ignoring your weight, your overweight, or your weight problems, or the pain in your body, yet if you just focus on it and put some attention into you instead of everybody else, right? It would improve. Ignoring a wife who drinks too much and yet you cover up for her in public so you don't have to lose all that you've built together. Ignoring a child who is begging for attention through outbursts and failures, and then you scold them instead of getting to know them and understanding them, right? Ignoring the Debbie Downer in your friend group that brings you down at every social event, and then you put up with her just not to mess it up for everyone else. So how does that sound, all of you, for when it comes to sugarcoating? Am I close? So this is called sugarcoating. This is called, I just have to put up with everyone. And when you start looking at it from that angle and asking yourself, do I enjoy this, or am I sugarcoating this BS, which is really what it is, right? So one of the things is when I realized for myself that what I was born to raise the self-worth of this planet, and that's a pretty big deal, right? But I knew it was because I was here to help people through their personality mapping. And so there was a part of me that was super excited, but then I was disappointed all at once, right? Because sharing my gift it's not an easy pill for others to swallow all the time. Why is that? This pill of truth, right? The pill of swallowing the truth. Do you take the sugar-coated pill, or do you swallow the nasty truth pill? And so the big hurdle for a lot of people is, this is the piece that I struggle with a lot of people, because they don't want to get to know themselves, which seems super weird to me, right? Until I understood the truth of why they don't want to know. Hold on one second. I'm I am logging in real quick for all of you who are tapping me out on the Universal Truth Tribe. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so if you guys start asking questions in the Truth Tribe, it looks like I can see you as well. So I will, oh, sorry about that. Let me just turn that off. I can see if you guys want to tap in and make a question on the live book now. Okay, so anyway, understanding yourself, guess what, guys? It creates responsibility. And so this is a red hot coal for many that they don't want to touch. So if I don't know better, I don't have to own it, correct? That's the way we look at this. And because if I do know the truth, right, if I do look at the truth of life, I have to take responsibility for a life of growth and ownership. And this is your truth, and the truth scares people. So as many have asked, this is where it keeps coming back to me. Well, why do you use astrology? Because it's fast and easy for me. And it's not different than any other personality mapping. It's just how you use it that counts. So it's not as exciting for me as many of you guys would think, right? I don't really care about the Mercury retrogrades and the way that other people do. I like to share it with all of you so you don't think you're crazy. But I really don't believe that one planet or person or thing has any more or less power over you than anything else does. I don't think it has more or less. I think it just is the way it is, right? And so I simply want to understand all of you so I can appreciate your lessons and that you choose to learn them at a higher level. And so your lessons are all different, right? And so when you respect your character traits enough to understand that they're different from everyone around you on many levels, you have the power to stay in a strength state over a victimized state. And so your energy then will impact basically everyone in the room. So avoiding tools that help you interpret your personal characteristic traits is basically, in my belief, that we're neglecting your own health physically, mentally, spiritually. And so any tool that you're given to show you yourself is a gift when you use it, right? And the amazing thing is that all the maps are the same, whether you use, like in corporate America, they tend to love to use DISC and Myers-Briggs and emotional intelligence testing. There's so much out there, right? Well, there's no different if I layered your astrology map right on top of one, it would show the same tools. So it's funny when I look at people and I show them where their weak spots are, they go, yeah, you're right, but we do nothing about it. And so when I hear this phrase, get ready, y'all ready? This is the big phrase, why me? How many of you have heard that phrase before, right? Like you've heard it come out of your mouth, right? I've been in the same place so many times, and that's what I ask myself over and over. Why is this happening to me? And it's what many of you guys ask, right? I hear this from clients and people talking to me all the time, which is, why me? Why, Dawn? Why is this happening to me? So just if you can put it in the chat, or even just if you're sitting, I can see some of you are together. You're sitting with each other. Oh, show of hands. If you've asked yourself when sorrow pops up, debt pops up, pain pops up, sabotage, mean people, failure, disappointments, when all this stuff appears in your life, have you heard it come out of your mouth? Why me? How many of you have heard that? And I bring that up because I want to be very clear that I'm not mistakenly not sharing this with all of you. When you hear it come out of your mouth, when you hear someone say, why me? Or you say it to yourself, why me? You are 100% designing your relationships. So there's a version of all of you that if you can understand this and on the grid level, on this universal, bigger picture level, right? There's a version of you that already exists and it's in a different vibration and it doesn't accept this weakened version of you that says, why me? This bigger version of you says, doggone it, I'm in. No problem. Bring it on, baby. Nothing's going to stop me from winning. This is not accepting that weakened version, that version of you. The challenge is that we believe what's out in the world and all this crappy stuff that we put up with, and we just have to put up with it. And thinking that we just have to put up with it, it's wrong. And I'm not a right and wrong person. I don't think there's good and bad. I don't think there's right and wrong, up and down. It just is, right? But when you're putting up with something you don't want, your reality reflects your relationships. And so in order to release the emotional shackles that are they're holding on to you, you can't leave. So how do you feel the world should behave in order to make you happy is on you, because you're not willing to discipline yourself to get it. They will not change, guys. I'm telling you, hands down, they're not going to change for you. The world will not change. Everybody repeat after me. I deserve it. There's one. Again, I deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve it. Now I want you to ask yourself if there's something you really, really want in your life, whether it's health, wealth, abundance, a healthier body, a relationship, love, and you don't have it. I want you to all understand that here, oh look, it looks like I'm wearing a little heart. Isn't that cute? Your heart doesn't believe what you just said you deserve. I deserve $1 million. I deserve the love of my life. I deserve to be fit and healthy. But if we don't believe it, we all have what we believe we deserve. And so my goal and my attention is that, you know, my intention for all of you is to understand that if I can help you every month, by the way, you'll get a video of me doing this as well, guys. A recorded version every 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, you're going to see me again on your computer. Look for me. I'll harass you. I'll find you guys. So my intention every month is to bring you guys a lighter, easier understanding of the universe. It sounds so gloomy and dark. And my answer is quit being afraid to look at your crap. Call it crap. I call it challenges. I call it, growth builders, mountain strength, right? Build your strength by climbing the mountain. And today I want you to discuss why we sugarcoat relationships. Because then when you do, all you do is sabotage the relationship. You put yourself in a sabotaging relationship right away. And why? Why do we do that? Okay, so, oh, I always forget to show you guys my little screen here. Your reality reflects your relationships. And then this one is funny. This makes me laugh every time I look at it. So this is the instant gratification race. And just in case you guys were expecting me to give you like this fast overnight tip tool that was going to make all the crap feel better and taste better, I wanted to give you guys this to remind you that in case you expected the instant gratification, I wanted to prepare you that you do not get the goodie bags at the end of the race. I want to prepare you that life just keeps giving you more. This comes up a lot in my coaching. I get the, you know, when am I going to get better? When is it going to improve? It doesn't go away. The challenges don't go away. You just get stronger, and they don't phase you as much. They don't bother you as much. It's not as much of a big deal. And I know that irritates people a lot. I know they're like, well, it should be a big deal. It's not. When you can look at life as not a big deal, when you can look at people throwing temper tantrums as like, all right, well, you do what you got to do. But I guarantee you there isn't a person on this call who hasn't encountered adversity and still is in some version of your life. So most people think I'm kidding when I reference getting bigger balls, but I'm not. So the next piece that I want you guys to get to is understanding that, oops, let me get you back here. There we go. I discussed this in my book, Balls, and I'm just putting the balls up there because they were the quickest balls I had to share with you guys. But I reference at the beginning, it's probably right in the introduction, testosterone is referred to as the hormone of strength, right? And you need testosterone to grow a muscle, right? It makes you, it actually makes you hornier, makes you have a higher sex drive, it gives you strengthen your muscles, and also makes the testosterone then gives you the ability to grow a muscle and thus you can get stronger. So it's needed to grow a muscle. But if we look at this at an even more basic level, all right? If you are, which is the yin of the yin, so yin is masculine, yin is feminine. And so if you were to look at the yin of life, which is the feminine softness of life, and you continue to meet roadblocks and you say, but I want to have more yin in my life and I want to be more feminine. And you're the kind of person that is so kind and so good to everyone. And then you come back and you're like, but I'm so good and I'm so nice to everybody. I'm so good. I'm so nice. Why me? Why is no one being nice to me? So what I want you guys to understand is that this is, if you guys are having, sounds like you might be having audio problems. I'm not quite sure on Facebook how to stop that. You might have to call back in. I'm sorry. Or download the app if you can. Download the Zoom app. You can log right in off on your phone on Zoom. So anyway, hold on a second. Let me turn this off. Let's see if I can block out my sound. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. So anyway, if you're on a yin and you're a yin person and you keep being nice and kind and soft to everyone, and you walk into the why me syndrome, it's because you have no balls. And I mean this in a jovial way, guys. Like seriously, I'm just joking with all of you in a kind way, but I want you to understand, I have not met a client in life who is living the life that they dream of and that they deserve without saying the word why, because I hear why me. Ready for the $1 million? You guys ready for the $1 million answer? Want to know why we keep hitting that I need to have more balls? Because you are used to an old vibration that's familiar to you, and people don't like hearing this. This is scary for all of us to admit, but we like it. You like being used. It's so familiar and comfortable that you like knowing what to expect. So I'm not telling you that you like being in a miserable body or miserable, intimate life or a miserable money and being in debt. I'm not saying you like arguing with your husband or wife all the time. I don't really believe that for anybody. But what happens is you know what to expect when you go home and argue every day. But if you were to go home and actually have to do the work and sit down with someone and be kind to them and loving to them every day and be kind to the mean, angry animal that's always there, angry with you every day, you'd have to learn some lessons, which means kindness and compassion. Yes, but it doesn't mean doing it gently. It means having balls and the balls to step up and have the discipline to do it over and over and over. And that's hard. So what's scary for a lot of people when they hear this is in any relationship, it's easier to accept the limitations than to be different and deal with the aftermath of rocking the boat. So, if you don't deal with it and you don't discipline yourself with the skills or the tools that you need to do to change your life, neither of you are happy. So changing it and making it uncomfortable for both of you, when you step out of your comfort zone, of course it's going to be uncomfortable. It's like doing things you wouldn't normally do. But will it make you better? Absolutely. Do it. This is when when I'm trying to do the work, and I guess what I'm trying to explain to people is, people come in and they're like, well, I want to do this, Dawn. I want to change. I want to make a change. And I hear it all the time. And I'm like, well, did you do the work? Well, no, I didn't do it. I've thought about it and I've talked about it and I'm thinking about it, but they're not actually applying it Small doses is all it takes, but doing it every day. So my answer always is like, well, good luck on selling that to me, because I've been doing this a long time and I was guilty as charged, right? I am just as guilty as all of you when it comes to these difficulty in relationships. And we want to understand it. And I want you guys to understand also is that the level of health of all of your relationships, and I don't care if it's your children, your husband or spouse or wife, your coworkers, your boss, whoever it is that you're interacting with. I want you to remember one thing. If any of them are straining or unhealthy, it's you, right? It's you have the ability to turn it around. You have to change the discipline. They're showing you. And so when someone says, I don't want to do that, I've done it, I'm thinking about it, but I really haven't implemented, you don't want it bad enough. That's the I deserving part. That's the I deserve it part, right? I've been doing this so long, and what happened that just kills me every time when I think about this, but it was such a great aha moment for me. When my relationships for a long time, I wanted love, I wanted my life partner, and I was not willing to settle. But I gotta tell you, I had to go through quite a few frogs to find that. And I kept repeating that I found these relationships are unfaithful. And I had to own it. And one night my girlfriend asked me, why do you think this keeps happening? And it's so funny because you all have this same revelation of aha right now, I'm sure. I knew immediately, and I get you, who on this call could guess why they were continually cheating on me? Anybody? Anyone pop in the Zoom and tell me on the chat why you think they were cheating on me? You guys are you're hiding. I can see you all, just so you know. So yes. You probably all know the answer. I was not committed. I was not committed to these relationships. I was not committed, so I attracted easy way out to blame them. Beep, beep. It was like a big blaring strobe light, guys. And it's that way for all of you. We just don't want to look. So if something's crappy, it really is. Stop sugarcoating it and acting like, oh, but it's so much better than the last one. No, are you better? Does it meet the needs that you want? And I'm not saying they need to fix you. They just need to show you what you're attracting. Okay? So remember this. When it comes to our lives and our livelihoods and our lifestyle, the bigger the dream, the more the adversity is going to be needed to prepare you to make you a bigger person. And of course, through all of that turmoil, I end up with the love of my life, and we do the work, and he's willing to go there with me, and we do practice new things, and it's amazing. And this person says, sometimes I don't like it, and he doesn't like it, and sometimes I don't like what he brings to the table for me, and I'm like, but I got to do it, and we do it, and it's so, honestly, it's so refreshing, and it kind of sets you free to a whole new frontier. And if you don't have persistence to say, I want the love of my life, the money of my life, the body of my life, you're gonna have to step into saying, well, if you don't accept that it's going to be difficult and receive roadblocks to your dreams, it means you're not really open to it yet. And that's okay, super okay. Again, this is not good or bad thing. This is the part where we talk about that, right? It's not about being good or bad. It's just saying you're not ready. A lot of people don't like that answer, right? The I'm not ready answer. The universe is going to send you experiences to see if your old patterns still exist, period, all the time. And if you're becoming the person that you're pinging out, and you're truly like in alignment to this vibrational grid, because we're all just energy. We've talked about that a lot on a lot of these calls. We're all just energy, and you are basically like this bubble of energy that's floating around, and it attaches to someone else with the same energy. So if you don't like the energy that's coming out in one of these people, heal you, heal here. And if not, then you get to stay stuck. So it's kind of like you saying, look, universe, I want something really great. I want something really amazing. I want something sweet and sugary and beautiful and wonderful to taste, but I'm not going to change me. Just bring me the goods. And it's kind of like saying, screw you, universe, right? Like, I'm not interested in being at a higher vibration and getting the wish I just told you I wanted. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like saying, look, I know what I want. I'm telling you what I want, but I don't want to be that. So you'll never get it. And then you're going to be disappointed in everything outside of you. So being patient with the universe says, okay, screw you back. This is your vibration. And until you want more, I need to see you step up and change the old patterns. And so stay uncomfortable. If there's a channel that you get on and you're uncomfortable, stay there. I don't care how unfamiliar it is, stay there for a while. You can't live in the new vibration with your old patterns. And so this is where people start getting frustrated and having to go like, look, do I have to let my relationships go, or my friendships go, or my old health and my old body go? You kind of do. You have to let some old lifestyles go. I know, I get run into clients with addictions all the time. And again, I just don't look at addiction the same way most people do, but it's kind of like this shame thing, like, oh, I drink too much. Oh, I take something too much. I exercise too much. I eat, or whatever it is, whatever the addiction tends to be. What is fascinating to me is that will go away. But we say, no, I'm going to go do that once in a while. I don't want to change and go be over here. And so it's telling the universe, I want more, but I really don't want to let go of that. And so when we actually make a change, those addictions kind of don't want you, because they don't match a higher vibration. So people tell me they want to stop something, and my answer always is start something. If you don't want to be addicted, and it's an addiction to negative, argumentative relationships, you have to be so committed to find health and joy and joking. And I don't know, maybe you have to Google funny jokes every single day to your partner and send it to your wife every day. And maybe you've got to go and talk about all the things that you can do that don't require these addictive behaviors. Like, you have to search, hands down. Okay, it doesn't have to feel good, and that's okay. It won't for a little while, but I guarantee you it has to be non-negotiable for you to own the new frequency, and it's going to start vibrating out, and then you're going to go, oh my gosh, months later, weeks later, I can't believe this happened. And so when we bring astrology back into this is where many of you have been on calls with me, or have done work with me. And this is where your zodiac map reveals karmic lessons for all of us. So, a lot of you know this, but do you know that it holds your truth? Right? So if you know that this holds your truth and it holds your shadows, what does that say to you? Right? We hear a lot in the healing community, and I'm trying to change the outlook on it. So beat up and broken. I think we're all amazing. And you look at your gifts and your talents and go, cool. These are the 4 spots that I have, like, as they would call it, shadow work, right? I have shadows. Those are my shadows. Well, those are the areas we don't want to look, because they're kind of dark, and they're not, they're not our most fun, light-hearted areas of our life. But I like to look at them more like trees with roots, right? And the top of the tree is where we're going to have that crisis code, where if you just crack the code, you wouldn't have crisis anymore. And in order to crack your personal crisis code on the leaves, we need to look at your map. And the map you were born with, you just need to know how to read it. I've taught you, most of you, I think, on this call, how to read that map. The leaves are your lesson for growth and abundance, period. You can't get away from it. And I can look at any personality map on the planet and match your zodiac wheel right on top of it, and it'll always match. And that's what's crazy, is the leaves are, you want to grow a tree, a life and a lifestyle with leaves and fruit to bring an abundant, fruitful life, wouldn't you say? Right? And so a tree with no leaves is just that. It's barren and empty. Yet we focus on the roots and the dark spots and the darkness and what's wrong with all of us for so long that we forget that if we would just fill in the leaves where there's a few empty spots, life would get a lot easier. And whether you look at the chart I gave you, whether you look at, you can go on my website, ideserveitnow.com. There is on the members access page, you all have access to that page, guys. There's a free astrology link there. You can go on there and stick your info in, but you should all have your personal one if you've worked with me. And you can go look for that North Node and it'll tell you every time where that is. People ask me all the time, what does this mean? Where Google is really powerful, guys. Like if you go, well, my North Node is in the ninth house in the sign of Aquarius. Well, what does that mean? Well, Google ninth house astrology wheel North Node in Aquarius. I guarantee it will give you so much more than you need to know. But you'll go, oh, that's what I have to do in this lifetime. Yeah, it blows my mind how basic this is, and we're not using it, right? So I struggle with when we walk through life having these pity parties. We don't need to have pity parties anymore for yourself. I want you guys just to have a need for understanding, because when you validate yourself where you need to grow, where the shadows are, where the dark spots are a little bit, you go, yeah, you're right, I do need to grow there. The rest of you is light. It's pure light. It's pure amazingness. And validation is vindicating. It vindicates you to like, oh my God, I know how to do that. But sometimes knowing what to do isn't easy because it goes against what you've taught to do when you were young. So looking at those 4 spots in your astrology chart, many of you have done it with me. Anyway, that's a fast way to find them. So I want to be clear about the 2 reasons why we sugarcoat in life. I gave you how we sugarcoat, and that was just a short list. There's a huge long list. We sugarcoat why we do things, why we're not being responsible. We have a reason for everything. Instead of knowing that it doesn't work for us, do something else. And so there's 2 reasons why we sugarcoat. Number 1 is because we don't have the tools. So you're going to come across people when you're doing a lot of spiritual work, intuitive work, self-development work, and they don't have the tools that you have, right? And so basically in their mindset, this is as sweet as it gets, right? So even crappy is better than crappier. So we get frustrated with them. Well, if you did this or if you did that, you'd feel better. And the point is that they don't have the tools a lot of us have, so we get frustrated with someone who doesn't have tools, and that's not fair. So unless you bring the tools to someone that you have and you share, it's going to be very difficult for someone to get on your vibrational level. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why we sugarcoat, because we act like, well, they don't know better. Well, they didn't know better till you bring in the tools. The second is we don't want to let go of familiar. So those are the 2 reasons why. So letting go of your natural state just isn't comfortable. It's what you know, it's what you're used to, it's what you have been doing for probably a very long time. And the fastest way to fix all this is the key is to not sugarcoating your life into thinking that you're doing okay, when actuality, you and only you, right, are negating and neglecting your karmic truth. We all know when something isn't working for us, but we want to keep banging our head, go, but I'm doing something. Well, clearly, if what you're doing isn't working, my answer is try something else. Try something else. You will find something that turns the key. This piece of life really fascinates me, guys, because this is the piece that gets to me. I'm going to tell you probably I've had hundreds, and I've worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients. Like in the thousands. And I'm going to tell you, I can probably count on one hand who's accepted the free tools I've offered. There are people out there, I understand they've been in hard times and they just couldn't, afford it. And I've helped children. And you want to know, 5 out of thousands of people have accepted the tool and used it and actually applied it and said, wow, it works. Now, how do I know it works? Because I have my life partner, the love of my life, the most amazing man in the world. By the way, you can't have him, but he's amazing. And it's true. It works. And most men want it. Women, they want it. They don't have the tools. So let me go back. They either don't have the tools or they don't want to let go of what they know. So you have the option, men and women, to make the change yourself and let them catch up. Because when you're unhappy, I want you to all understand it's 100% you accepting and repeating old crappy behaviors. So ask yourself, what is one topic that you are disappointed in life? I'm throwing up a wheel here with just some basic topics on it that we use for winning. And if you had to ask yourself, if you can see the wheel, if you're logged in online, you guys will be able to see the wheel. It's self-confidence, self-worth, money, communication, family and home, fun and romance, health, partnerships, change and emotions, beliefs and higher learning, career, friends, and mental health. So if you had to ask yourself, what is one topic that you're disappointed in your own life right now? Okay. And you had to wipe off the sugar. I mean, I want you guys to be honest. No one's looking at you aside from me. No one can see you. But if you had to be 100% honest and ask yourself, are you avoiding taking responsibility for that topic? What is one thing that if you did it daily to address it, would it change it forever? I mean, some of you, it's money, right? Like, oh, I have money problems, but I guarantee you I could find money in your life and you could start saving money, or you could change your financial status, or you could change the way you see money in a heartbeat. Because we don't pay ourselves first. We pay everyone else and everything else first. It's an easy fix. I could name one thing when it comes to your body. Everyone asks me, how do you stay in shape, Dawn? 15 minutes. I take it back. Sorry, 20 minutes. I'm up to 20 minutes only because they only have 20-minute Tabata classes on Peloton. So 20 minutes a day. That's it. Some days, yes, will I go for longer walks and that kind of stuff, but I literally do 20 minutes a day. And people say, well, I have to spend all this time on my health. You don't. A few sit-ups, a few push-ups, and I'm done. I'm back out the door. These are small things that change people's lives when it comes to food. Stop getting lost in the chaos and say, what if I only ate things that were alive and nothing that was processed? If I call it the perimeter eating, right? Growing up in a grocery store, the perimeter is where you have all live foods, and then the center is everything that is processed and developed in some way, right? It's either canned or boxed or whatever. So if you think of life that way, we're so trying to make everything so difficult. And if there was one topic that is weak and you had to fill up with one drop a day, what would that be? So I guarantee if you could match this weak hot spot and circle one of them, I guarantee it's going to match one of the hot spots on your astrology chart. Guaranteed. It does every time. And I'm waiting for someone to let me down and be like, oh, it doesn't work. It totally does. So I love that. I love patterns. It's just kind of a weird, the nerdy part of me that comes out. So anyway, sugarcoating, it's all our fault. It's all our responsibility. If there's a topic that is rubbing you hard right now, what would you do every day if you could to change it? Talk about it. Open your mind about it. Research about it. Learn about it. Guys, YouTube is free. If you knew how much Tony and I swap videos every day on just mind-blowing stuff, you'd be like blowing your minds of how much is out there. I have so many YouTube videos that you guys could watch just on the app alone. So there's so much out there where people tell me they can't get ahead, and I'm struggling with it because it's really, this is the sugar coating lifestyle we've all grown up in. And I think we've gotten lazy. And then we want to take crappy environments or crappy situations and then say, oh, isn't that great, Dawn? And my answer is no, it's terrible. So what I would like you guys to do is, think about what it is that you're trying to improve, and think about what it is that you're trying to grow. Is it saving your marriage or your partner, relationship that you're in, becoming more successful in your health, your wealth, your friendships, your children? Connecting with our children is a complete lost art. And people hear me say this all the time, but I'm going to say it again. We are in the biggest the biggest emotional and spiritual poverty I've ever seen. We have such a disconnect from people that we love and understand, and we have such a spiritual disconnection. I'm not talking religion, and most people know me. God is very important to me, and I believe in source and divine higher power beyond measure. As people laugh all the time and I say God probably tells me to shut up, I talk so much to source. But we have this disconnect, and we have this something out there needs to fix us, and my answer is you need to fix you. Okay, this is the question. So if I had a question for you, I'd say, you know, if you could create anything in your future in the next 1 year, what is it that you'd like to create for yourself personally, maybe professionally, financially, or as a spouse? Would you like to improve your relationship with your partner? Because avoiding these tools, in my mind, it's like being dehydrated, right? And you know you need an IV infusion, and you know you'd feel better if you've got these IV and vitamins in your body. And you need to infuse yourself with a toolbox of vitamins, right? And so avoiding them, you know you're going to create self-sabotage. What is it costing all of you to not take action? Asking yourself, right? Because this is the sugarcoating dilemma. If you stop sugarcoating, what would you have to do to take action? Would you like to be more successful with the relationships that you have in your life? So just to final note, I'm going to share with you guys, I have 3 new events coming up. I Deserve It Academy. If you have not been through my private coaching, there's a deep dive happening, and it's starting up again new. So if you can, go ahead and if you have anyone that you've been through it, suggest to them. I'm going to start doing online coaching, a lot more of group coaching than I am one-on-one, because I'm getting busy and it's hard to keep up with you guys. The next event coming up, I'm going to share them with you on here if you guys can see them. Lighten Up events. They're called Lighten Up Revents, and it is to reinvent yourself. And these are all hosted by you and your closest friends and colleagues. So this is the fast, safe, easy way to connect into self-awareness and reinvent yourself without feeling so serious. I just think everything's gotten so serious, and I'm moving off of beat the crap out of people, make them feel bad about themselves, because you feel bad enough already, right? So I want you guys to stop and look at how you can lighten up and reinvent yourself. And that's pretty cool. And we're launching, they're already happening. These lighten up events are happening already. So log on there and you can have a party or an event for your corporate account, however you'd like. And then I have the couples toolbox. Some of you have gotten updated on it, but this is my favorite product launch to date. You don't need to be with me. You don't even need to log on. All you need to do is open up your toolbox and start talking to your partner. Tony and I did it because I wanted proof. I'm like, are we crazy, or did we just get this? And we were both kind of shocked by what we got out of doing it again. And we've done all these tools several times, but doing them more than once. So let me highlight, if you do own the toolbox, open it and do each one more than once. If you do not own the toolbox, please go get it and open it up and start doing it with either your spouse and or partner or your child. It works across the board, except for don't do with your child. There's an intimate pieces in there at the end. They're like, 10, 11, and 12. Clearly, I hope you will figure that out. So anyway, this is why we had the call tonight, because I want to know what kind of love that you guys want, right? And what kind of tools is it going to take to get it? And badass people have badass power tools, and I want you guys to have them. And so all of these, by the way, are on my website. I'm going to put them in here. Deserve it. Okay, there it is. So you guys can log on to that and get the link if you're online. But iDeserveItNow.com, or you can just go to my name, DawnThompson.com, goes there as well. If you want to open it up, just simply open up Help Me With, and it basically pick the tool you want. So anyway, I just wanted to update you guys on all of that. Now, I'm happy you guys joined, and I promised Q&A, and a few questions have come in. I want you to expect more next month. If you want specific things that come up in your life and you want to know about them, all you have to do is ping me a message, and I will discuss it. This is where it happens, and I will discuss whatever it is. I did get some questions coming in. So if you want to share this with someone else, I will. I've got a couple things going on here on Facebook. So some Facebook attendees are asking some questions. Here they come in. Again, if you want the replay, you can go back to the website. Always go to Members Access and go to Truth Tribe. And if you are a member, you can log right in and go to replay, okay? And you will be updated so you'll never miss a call. So if you do miss a live call, you can go there and listen as well. All right, so last, let's see. Here's your Q&A. Question that came up, so let's see what it says. It says, how do we stop sugarcoating the need to look at the baby iPod like reoccurring, like recruiting a new teammate for a team sport? Okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding this. Self-confidence. So this person's struggling with self-confidence and not avoiding the work, but in process. Okay, so this is kind of cool. So this person says, all right, look, I have to work on my self-confidence. Like I really need to. And my answer is stop working on it and just own it. Like, who are you? Right? What do you love? Like this was me when I told you at the beginning, right? Like this is a hard pill to swallow, Dawn. You're going to have to teach people the basic, most simplistic form and version of astrology and spirituality so they can wrap their brain around it really fast. Everything I taught you is a very metaphysical terms, but I use basic terms to teach you. And so my tip is that, so the question that this person is saying is, look, I'm trying to work on my self-worth and self-esteem, okay? And how do you work on yours if the other person doesn't want to work on it with you? Leave them alone. And this is very hard for some people because we want this so bad that coming over here and making this bigger and more badass is hard to be attracted to that because you're so immersed in all this and making this have to be it first before you make this first. And I want you guys to make two wholes really amazing and complete. This person might be kind of disheveled and falling apart. It's okay. It doesn't mean you have to fix them, because if you're trying to fix them, offering them the solution is great. But even my husband will tell you he struggled with it for a while. He didn't have any of the problems I brought up to him. He didn't have any of the challenges I was bringing to his attention. He was just fine, and he did this, and I was here. And so my point is that as long as you know that that person has a good soul and their heart is in the right place and they're working, but it's just slow, it's probably going to be very slow, given that they're resistant. Well, once they get there and they can come together, it should always look like this: two holes connecting just at the center. But when you're trying to completely turn into one piece, that's going to get you in trouble. And so when one person is willing, it means go work on you more. Work on your own self-worth. Work on your own self-confidence. Work on your own self-esteem. Work on the things that do bring you confidence. When someone's like, well, my husband isn't making any money, my husband isn't helping me pay the bills, and I have to do it all, then go be a gazillionaire. What are you waiting for? Why would you wait for someone to not help you? So now you're going to put it on them to not go be amazing, because there are no rules. And I'm switching the tide here. It could be the other way around. You know, your husband waiting for your wife to go do something as well. And so it's very true what this person's bringing up is you are going to have times when the other person doesn't want to participate. Then leave them alone and go work on you. You know, this is not always an easy task because we lose ourselves in the other person. And I'm trying to tip you guys off is the way you quit sugarcoating is quit losing yourself in their shit, fix yours. And it doesn't, what we think we fixed, sometimes we haven't. And when I thought I had fixed some things, and I'm not the best emotionally communicating person. My husband will tell you that. Like there are times when he'd be like, you're worried about what? Like you've been upset? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of have. I'm not good at it. I want to, and I've told him I want to, but I'm terrible at it. So if you're expecting that all of a sudden you fixed it and then you didn't again, that's what I was talking about earlier with these hot spots, or should I say roots of your tree. There's some of the dark stuff, that shadows that we just aren't good at, and we've got to kind of turn around and fill in the hole. And one person might not be ready. and they're not ready. But by you redirecting your energy on you, you are so attractive. How many of you have been in a room? Here's an example with someone who is fun and lighthearted and nothing like affects them and everything just slides off their back and they're comical and they're enjoyable and stuff spills and people are making messes and they don't care. And those are the greatest people to be around because they relax you, right? It's peaceful. It allows you to be you. That's my point with this. I want you all to try and figure out how to start being more of a fun and feathers you. There's my tip of the day, right? Is I'm always trying to teach everybody to use some of my tools, but try to be a fun and feathers you. Try to see the fun in everything and find joy in everything. Everything is funny. And try to find, and don't try to get someone else to think it's funny. Just be you and be happy and be funny and look at things from a different perspective, because at the end of the day, there aren't a lot of things that really can take you down. We're afraid of things like death. We're afraid of illness. We're so programmed to be afraid. And that's what sugarcoating is as long as I do what I know and I don't like it, but I still know it, then I'll be okay because I have control of that. But I would rather you not have control, let go, trust the universe, and start having fun and living your life and enjoying things. Because I think that is what is going to help us become a little bit more content and enjoy your life a little bit more. Because if you guys have you guys noticed the commercials on TV are about you dying and death and needing drugs and the conversations are about what's wrong with everybody and what's negative with everybody, and everything is constantly poking at everybody instead of looking at how brilliant and amazing everyone is. You know, and things aren't going to come in your perfect timing, but I guarantee if you're putting one drop a day on whatever that was on that circle that we discussed earlier, if it's for you, it's self-confidence. It's for someone else, it could be a different topic, but whatever it is, I want you guys to start looking and understanding. And some people, you know, they work through their things, and some people they don't. Does it matter? No. Any more questions, guys? Let me see what else is coming in here. I'm trying to, I get myself in trouble here because I try to give you guys too many versions of how to get through on this call. And then of course, I'm trying to multitask here. So let's see. All right. Anything else? Does that help you, Jill? You know, when you're looking at things from, I shouldn't have said who it was, but you guys don't know who this is. When you look at things from the perspective of self-confidence, self-worth, okay, I hate to burst this bubble on everybody on this call, but there's not a human being on this planet that doesn't have self-worth or self-confidence issues. So I know she like beats herself up about this, but you know what? We all have it. We all have it. Wherever one of those shadows are, you have it, I have it. So why are we not just looking at that one topic and go, you know, what would I have to do to stop being in kindergarten and maybe move to preschool? And now that I'm in preschool, what would I have to do to get into elementary? It's that basic. And so if you guys start looking at your life from a little bit more of the perspective of what is it that you don't like? When I looked at my life, I had to look at the fact that I didn't like being alone. And this will surprise all of you since I do these calls and I'm on stage and I do, you know, a lot of live stuff. I am not a big socializer. Yet I didn't like being alone, right? So I had to break that soft dark spot. I'm not a big socializer. It's not I love talking to people. I just don't find crowds enjoyable. I was recently invited to the Open and I was like, yeah, that's probably not gonna be a good place for me. It's just not something I enjoy, but would it have been good for me? Probably I could have met some really wonderful people. So there's no right or wrong version in life. All right, guys. Well, we're hitting at the top of the hour here and 2 minutes. So if I'm not getting any more questions, I'm going to close up with the closing time and give you the last details, which is a reminder. Okay. Reminding you that you either need the tools or you don't want to let go of whatever it was that was holding you back, right? So these are the 2 reasons why we sugarcoat life. If you don't have the tools, you know how to text me and call me, right? And if you need the tools, I will get them for you. I'll find them for you. If that one person in life wants to go and create a better life, then I'd say, you know what? I'm in, and I will find a way to make that happen. And if not, then I will find someone else who has it. Okay. And if you do have the tools and you're just don't want to let go of the familiar, that's kind of a simpler answer right there, right? Just let go. Just let go. Let go and go, you know what? It's okay to feel crappy right now and not expect more until I'm ready. And when you're ready, I guarantee you a burning hot coal will be sitting under your booty, and it will burn so hard that it will pop you up and you'll say, okay, I'm ready. I'm not doing that anymore. And you won't. And you'll be done. But remember, everything that's happening to you, everything, please hear me, nothing is an accident. And that's what this call was about tonight. All right. Nothing was and is an accident. All right. And so because so many of you are coming at me with the self-confidence thing on this wheel, I can't even, every single one of you is bringing up, not every single one of you, but several of you have popped in and thrown at self-confidence to me. So I want you to know that it's not just you. When you are ready, I promise it will work. When you just do drops at a time and stop trying to be to the end of the rainbow immediately, because you will slowly let go of familiar, because it just will happen without you even trying. So sometimes don't try so hard and just give it a little bit of a dose of when it burns enough, you'll know when you're ready. And it'll make a change. So I hope you guys got enough of no more sugarcoating. And if you are, either you better find me for tools or you better get used to it and no more whining. Get bigger balls. It's time to step up. I believe in all of you. You are all freaking amazing, beautiful, so powerful in your souls. And I know that you're all going to be amazing beyond measure. It's just, you have to question it yourself. So if you need to listen to someone, listen to me. All right, guys. Brightest blessings. You have a great night. I will find you. You will get an email from me in a couple weeks with a video or an audio recording with another mini update and a mini call. And then I will see you in March, right before my honeymoon. So maybe we'll talk about love that week, since I'll be ready to go on my little love venture with my hubby. Okay. All right, guys. Love you all. Brightest blessings. If you need anything, just feel free to shoot me an email over and I'll fill it in from there. Okay. All right. Take care.